Have you ever looked at someone who made you mad and wanted to fart in their face and then didn't? Just blame it on your inner demon child. Well, here we are, the end of another year. Kamen Rider Revice has come to an end, meaning Geats will take effect. But first, let's take a look back at our previous live-action anime, a season I can compare with Double as being half-boiled.
ハーフじゃねえよハードボイルドだ
Revice has plenty of moments of heartwarming joy in between devil dealings, people dying not coming back, and people getting shot in the face. Even more than your average Kamen Rider season. But is Revice a good season? Well, yes. Revice does more things better than Zero One and Saber did. And the best way to determine this Reiwa season is through plot, character, and themes. So let's get to it! The story itself is almost straightforward. A cult of demon worshippers with a Mexican theme called Deadman intends to awaken their space god devil gift, the only one stopping them being the demon hunting organization Phoenix. So yeah, it's basically S.H.I.E.L.D. versus the Hollows from Bleach. They even got a helicarrier. As things become too much for Phoenix, they rely on the Igarashi family to put an end to the cult, even though they use the power of devils too. It's a straightforward plot that you can see a mile away. They even got the part where Phoenix is run by evil people, like this guy masquerading as him, and that guy making people lose faith in heroes to build a Cage of Eden. That's the Garden of Eden, but you can't leave. So yeah, it's exactly like S.H.I.E.L.D. But a plot driven by itself doesn't float anymore. So we have characters who give us love for the story. The Igarashis are a family running an indoor hot spring led by Genta and Yuki, with their children Daiji and Sakura. The eldest is Iki, and his devil is Revice. They become Revi and Vice, and form the team Revice. Iki is a busybody who loves to get involved, whether you want him to or not, due to giving up on his dreams. His kindness comes across as him lacking empathy, but that's later explained on when it turns out his transformations were causing him memories, and regardless, he continues to push. It's that hero syndrome. His devil vices, in contrast, wild and outgoing. He's there as proof of the ego Iki is hinted to have. The second child is Daiji, and as the youngest son, he obviously has this inferiority complex to Iki, whose busybody nature overshadows his accomplishments. This manifested Kagero, and unlike the other demons, he's just Daiji with confidence and malice. Like the Green Goblin, he's there to do and say what he won't. This relationship differs as well, for Daiji rejects Kagero for his own sense of justice, believing he doesn't need him. Later on in the show, we would all come to realize that he made a bad call. A series of problems he produced that he never once thought he was wrong about, because that mess where Phoenix is destroyed was entirely his fault. Sakura is the tough, cute karate girl of the family, and one of the reasons this season has been so well liked in my opinion. Like Iki and Daiji, she cares about her family, but is willing to question the consequences of them getting involved if it means they get torn apart. She's also far more independent than the others, able to escape a hostage situation and take on far stronger opponents before she even received a final form. As she's strong and confident, her devil Love Cove is helpless and doubting, representing the part of Sakura that wants help, isn't perfect, and needs to grow. It's a shame John's form Invincible didn't come in a more personal episode, and instead the one against the big bad. But that's what the side DVDs are for. Phoenix is home to several characters that I have trouble remembering, except George, Hiromi, Akashi, and Wakabayashi. You know, both of them. There isn't much to go in for the commander, but George is our resident gadget builder with daddy issues, and Hiromi is the reason Daiji's self-righteousness got so bad. Akashi is a fallen hero trying to do what he thinks is right. and is exactly the person Daiji was becoming. So it's only natural that the former tries to be the latter's fodder, guide. Guide is what I meant. And then there are the bad guys, because how else to improve the heroes than by having them face counterparts? Julio is an Advent worshiper who's reduced to a joke until the very end. And Ortega perfectly fits in with the Dead Man's, being a human who hates other humans. Aguilera was a girl who was groomed to becoming a sacrifice unknowingly, which is far more dangerous a thing than you realize if you compare it to real life. Meeting Sakura, she starts to make decisions beyond her cult's goals and becomes a parallel to her. Aguilera was strong and powerful enough to take care of herself and despised being told what to do. But her dedication to gift was a detriment as she couldn't accept Sakura's life the way she was. But through the constant spats, they became friends. Makes sense. They both have flower-themed names. Ortega has been the breakout villain here. Some would say that the saber tiger dead man, Kudo, was the perfect counterpart to Iki, but I believe it's Ortega. Iki and Makoto are both mellow and level-headed people, but while the former puts himself out there for others' benefits, the latter despises society, thinking others should serve him. Their attitudes and experience regarding family couldn't be any more different as well. Giff is, well, he's just there for food. For the last of the villains, there is Vale, Genta's devil. This guy has a lot of history with the story, being he's the reason behind Iki and Vice's contract. But the full depth of this and Genta's backstory comes out of the side series, Kamen Rider Vale. I'd add that, but this is about Kamen Rider Revice. So I will say that the conclusion of Vale's arc ends extremely satisfying, in a way that means much more to the theme of the story. And finally, we have Weekend. They're the shady good guys who become the real good guys when Phoenix's true colors come out. Going with the theme of family, it's kind of good that they exist. With all the characters out of the way, we come to the final portion, themes. No Rider series is complete without its themes. Gaim had growing up, Drive was their evil and humans, Agito was being true to yourself, and O's is controlling your ambitions. For Revice, we have two, family and accepting your inner darkness. The Igarashi family is set up as a prime example of a good family, but even they have imperfections. Like real families. Iki's entire motivation beyond being a busybody is being there for others, including his relatives. And once it hits that he's losing his memories, it hurts him. This also follows in Weekend, as the group is run by a fake family who lost theirs to devils. It started as appearance, but grew deeper. Hell, it even comes up with Akashi and Daiji, and of course George in the final 4 episodes. A setup to restore Iki's memories would be an amazing way to end the story, and Juga being there to fulfill Vice's contract would work. But Juga was just there for George to vent out his own family frustration. Accepting of one's inner darkness, that's often common with Kamen Rider stories, but it's far more prevalent here as well. Speaking of Valen, Vale is something in that position. As bad as he is, Genta needs him as much as vice versa. Daiji definitely needed Kagura. Sakura needed Love Cove. And in the end, Iki needs Vice, the same way his father did. And that's something entertainment has been hoping to break through to the youth lately. Like Lego Batman, our darker selves are a part of us, and are not something we can or even should throw away. Because if we do, we'll only be half as good as we should be. As you can see, Iki is only able to move forward with his life after fulfilling his contract and regaining Vice. It's okay to be just, but you're the only one who can live your life. It's okay to be selfish. The nice guy act doesn't work all the time. And even more, there's one more thing this show teaches you. Knowing what you're getting yourself into. You may think it's no biggie, but don't sign a contract unless you know what you're getting. Because phenomenal cosmic power isn't worth itty bitty living space. That about wraps up this review. Thank you all for listening. If you want to hear more reviews, just like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Or don't. I'm a reviewer, not a cop. Did I miss anything? Oh, right. I give Kamen Rider Revice a 4 out of 5.